my feelings, my emotions. A lot of people want to hear from me, and I was really grateful to have the opportunity to tell everyone about it. So I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. I actually wanted to go to New York City at some point. Between Pittsburgh and Manhattan, or sorry, and Cromwell. I was telling my wife, I was like, it'd be fun to take, a little one-night trip to the city, and she wasn't for it, but it ended up becoming mandatory after the week on Sunday.
Awesome. Well, you're back here at the Travelers Championship. How excited are you to get back this week?
Yeah, super excited. I didn't get to play here last year. I love the area. I love the course. Such a great course that they have here at TPC River Highlands, and looks like we're gonna have some pretty good weather too, so that's nice. And yeah, just excited to get the week going. Just got in, so kind of gotta knock the rust off.
And finally, before we open to questions, a couple years ago, you won the Travelers Charity Challenge, formed a early relationship with Andy Bess, longtime Travelers executive, and very much the heart of this tournament. And he's someone that you've formed a personal relationship, given you've been open with some of your own health journey. Just how cool is it, given the history with Andy, which if you could share a little bit about that and what it means, arriving back at this tournament as a major winner?
Yeah, I believe that was 2018 where I won the Umbrella Challenge on, right in the lake right there off of 16. I had just recently been diagnosed, or maybe it was 2019. But in the fall of 2018, I was diagnosed with diabetes type 2, and it was just kind of a crazy sort of diagnosis I wasn't expecting. I wasn't feeling great, so I knew something was up. But I just was kind of going through the whole learning experience of what diabetes is and how to treat it and how to approach this disease. But I remember winning that, and you get to donate $15,000, $10,000, I believe, to a charity of your choice. And I chose JDRF, which is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. And when Travelers got word of where I wanted that donation to go, Andy Bess kind of broke down apparently and was kind of touched very deeply, because he's a very integral part of that charity and donates quite a lot of money too, and so that initiated our connection. And he's kind of been there for me the whole way, where if it was doctors I need to get in touch with, or CEOs of JDRF, it's been nice to have that connection and his network to kind of help me along this journey, because I'd just been diagnosed with it, but diagnosed incorrectly. But then even when I got my diagnosis, corrected, I guess, it was even more so helpful to have JDRF and Andy on my side to kind of help me navigate another new territory, I guess you can say. So I'm happy to be back. Hopefully I can win the challenge again and donate some more money to JDRF.
Very cool connection. Well, with that, we'll open up some questions. If you have a question for JJ, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic. We'll start right here with Doug.
In the last couple of days, you become a U.S. Open champion, gone to number 3 in the Ryder Cup standings, very busy the last 2 days. Where's your head right now as you prepare to play this tournament?
I'm not fully in the clouds still, but we're getting a little below the ceiling, the cloud ceiling. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind, and everything that the aftermath of this whole championship has been so crazy, but so much fun, and all these doors opening. It's stuff that you don't expect ever really to happen in your career. The Dodgers reaching out, and Ryder Cup potential, and the Today Show. It's insane, but I'm super grateful to have won the championship and be given this experience, and something I'll never forget, obviously, for the rest of my life. I guess I'm a part of history now.
We're going to go to the back right over here.
Hey, JJ, what was the timeline kind of like between, winning the U.S. Open and, where you are right now?
Oh, it was crazy. got whisked off the green and then back onto the green probably around 8:45 p.m. and then did the whole formalities of, the ceremony, signing a bunch of memorabilia, obviously getting the trophy, seeing it get engraved. The USGA did a great job of kind of giving us our own little room to kind of hang out and chill, all night and till whenever we wanted to leave. So we didn't leave till about 1 a.m. We didn't leave Oakmont till 1 a.m. back down to Pittsburgh where I was staying. And then it was, a quick 3 hours of sleep. I got back at 1:30 and I just kind of sat in bed and, but trying to, maybe go through my phone, took a quick shower, tried going through my phone to respond to some people and just tried to, see what was going on to help me soak it in and realize that it actually happened because it's just been such a blur since then. And then we were off to New York City. I had a nice dinner with my family on Monday night and we went to do all the media 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Didn't finish. It was literally nonstop. Didn't finish till 3:30, 4 o'clock. Hopped in a car, got driven up here. That was about 3.5 hours. So didn't walk through the front door of the hotel till 8 p.m. And then finally got some good sleep though. I slept about 8 hours, which is nice. So the last 2 nights I got the same amount as I did last night combined.
Yeah, and over the last day or so, who are some of the coolest people that have reached out to you to congratulate you?
Yeah, I heard from George Lopez, comedian and actor from Los Angeles, Mookie Betts, who was actually my pro-am partner at Pebble Beach, Scott Van Pelt, a lot of people. I mean, I'm still halfway through my messages. Curtis Strange, Hale Irwin, just some great champions, too, that have been there and know what it's like. So people that I've never even talked to, but it was great.
All right, we're going to go over here on the left. Jack?
JJ, I was looking through your iron specs after the win, and I saw they're not exactly off the rack. Is that something you like to dive into, or is that something you just kind of leave it to your team at Shrixon to handle for you?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've been kind of a standard I've been playing for the last almost 8-9 years with them. Mm-hmm. I don't have an incrementally sound, I guess, progression in lies and stuff and lofts. It's just kind of been, I like to tweak it to where I feel like it needs to be to help me hit what I want with that club. And it's just been, something that the team at Shrixon is, just kind of kept very consistent. And, we haven't changed anything really at all.
And then obviously the lab putter is new this year. How did you get into that putter, and what do you like so much about it? Obviously, you're the first person to win a major with a zero torque design.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I got one of those. I've always been interested in it, but I've never really wanted to stray away from a traditional, blade putter because I'm so I like to feel, the toe flow. I like to maybe push the putt a little more on a right to lefter and pull it maybe on a left to righter to kind of err on the higher side. And so, I didn't have a great putting year statistically, and I'm not statistically an overall great putter. I'm pretty hot and cold, I would say, but I got it last off season and tinkered with it, and had enough time, 5-6 weeks at home to play with it and get comfortable with it and see what my tendencies were with it, and I felt really good with it, so I put it in play. And the first week was the Sony Open with it, and I almost won there with it, and I've just been putting a lot more consistently with that putter, and it's obviously proven itself, this season.
Will you pass the mic right down? Oh, never mind. We'll go to the back with David. David in the very back.
Hey, JJ, you earlier today, I should say, Scotty Scheffler and Keegan Bradley, who was just in, said that they both hope that you really enjoy the everything that sort of comes with the win, that you can appreciate having sort of fulfilled this. At the same time, obviously, you want to continue and play your best. Have you had any opportunity so far with your team, your family, to sort of just sit down for a second and try and plan out what could be the next couple of weeks, or is it at this point still day by day, just sort of trying to ride this thing?
Yeah, it's been day by day. I still haven't really been able to enjoy it and not have any responsibilities. You know what I mean? It would be nice to just sit on my couch at home and, have the trophy sitting right next to me and watch some Sports Center or something. But that's kind of how I like to enjoy things, just kind of vegging out, especially after, long weeks on the road and big tournaments. But yeah, we're getting closer to what I have in plan for the next few weeks. But just so far, taking it day by day.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge for you, certainly through the rest of this season, in terms of compartmentalizing what you need to do to be successful, to play good golf through the rest of the year, and also at the same time, again, appreciating that win?
Yeah. I definitely need to keep the hunger there. I mean, I think I will have the hunger just because I want to continue to prove myself, but not prove myself to anybody other than myself, I feel like. And that's kind of been my biggest barrier throughout my entire career, is just try not to be so hard on myself and not ruining any sort of confidence that I've built, from all these experiences on my journey as a golfer. So as long as I keep that up, I think I'll continue to play well. And obviously winning the U.S. Open is just going to be, a huge boost to that sort of inner ego, I guess you can say, to keep that self-belief alive and burning. And I need to enjoy this. Like Keegan told me that yesterday. He's like, you need to enjoy this. Do your best to just enjoy it. It's easy to kind of let it out the window and get right into the next week and forget about it for a while. But just do your best to enjoy it. And I'm planning to enjoy it next week. That's for sure. At least for next week.
We'll go right here on the front row.
JJ, obviously you mentioned it's been a whirlwind week for you, but 2 years ago, maybe not quite to the same extent, but at this tournament, your daughter was born on Monday, and you didn't know if you were going to be coming out until the last minute, and you came. Your memories of that week, was that kind of a whirlwind as well? And obviously good memories, I assume, regarding your family. And I guess she's probably got a birthday coming up too, right?
Yeah, Violet's birthday is on tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is. The last time I played here, it was almost a similar sort of, whirlwind. My daughter was born Monday. My wife didn't get discharged out of the hospital till Tuesday, late Tuesday. And, it was our second born. And, she was very nice enough to tell me if I want to go play, I'll go play. And so I flew out here Wednesday night. I got in at like midnight. And luckily I had like a 1:30 tee time Thursday, but there's literally, and keep in mind I had a week off before because I'm pretty sure it was the U.S. Open I wasn't in. And, we had been in the Shea Birthing Center for 4 days prior to that, kind of getting ready, going in and out, being in triage for the birth. And so I didn't really touch a club till, I didn't touch a club 5 days before I even teed up in the tournament. So it was wild to come all the way from Scottsdale to Cromwell was kind of a journey and getting in late. But, I had to do some extra diaper duty for leaving her so quickly, but we made it work.
Are they here this week, the family?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we go on the front left over here.
JJ, as you look back on the last year and a half or so from where you are now, that point you've told the story where you nearly stepped away, now obviously you're U.S. Open champ. What's your big takeaway from that rise, and what do you hope people take away who learn that story?
I would say pretty cliche, but to never give up. I think the biggest thing is you can always, there's two ways you can kind of, take away when your back's up against the wall. You can kind of succumb to it and just say, okay, like this is my way out, or I'm going to fight back. And I've been kind of through these situations in my life, before. And I've always kind of fought back and come out on the other side instead of kind of succumbing to it and letting it get to me and ending any sort of dream I had, whether it was, like the diabetes or, going through a bad slump in golf. So I think that's kind of the mindset. And I think it just shifted my perspective where, if my fate is to be on this tour, if my fate's to be a U.S. Open champion, like it'll happen, and all I can do is just try my best and give myself the best opportunity to play my best. And I think taking a lot of pressure off yourself is the biggest way to do that.
All right, last two questions. We're going to do Keith and then Kevin. Keith on the right.
JJ, you've been an incredible ball striker throughout your career. When you hit the shot on 17, the tee shot, did you know?
Knew what? That is 1 in 12 feet? No. Well, when it was in the air, it looked really good. I'd hit really good drives there all week. Even in the practice rounds, in the first practice round, I played the back nine. I hit it to probably 20 feet. So I had good imagery in my head on that tee shot, and it fits my fade. I prefer 99% of the time to hit a left to right shot with my driver. So kind of given the situation, I just picked my spot, tried to start it there and bleed it off that bunker, and it was amazing because you can't see, it's 14 yards uphill, so you can't see anything but the top half of the flag stick, at least for me. Maybe Tony can see the whole flag stick, but you can hear the crowd, just the roar growing and growing as the ball was getting closer and closer, and then the big miss sort of screams. So yeah, it was cool. It was probably the shot of the tournament.
As a follow-up to that, then, real quickly, when you go through your pre-shot, do you use a lot of visualization, like when you're picking your spots and everything, and do you think about historical shots, to make you feel comfortable? Is that part of it?
Yeah, I would say when I'm thinking of the shot that I'm trying to play, I kind of go back to whether I did it earlier that round or earlier that week. But I don't go too deep into it, like J-Day, where he closes his eyes. Maybe I should try that, but I just try to get in there and put a confident, committed swing on the ball and just take where it ends up.
All right, final two questions, Kevin and then Doug.
Hey JJ, congratulations. You're the first PGA Tour Americas alum to win a major, and then 2021 you went back to the Korn Ferry Tour Finals and finished second in Boise to keep your card. And I was wondering if you could kind of contextualize the importance of those pathways in your development to get to this point, and specifically how big that week in Boise was to finish second when you were on the verge of losing your card.
Well, exactly like I was saying earlier, I've kind of been put in situations where it's not looking good, but I've always fought through those ruts and was able to come out on top. And I've had that on the Canadian Tour. I played great one year, then I lost my card the next year, probably 2014. Went to Q school for Canada Tour, PGA Tour Canada at the time, Mackenzie Tour. Then came back the next year, won the Order of Merit. Then the next year finished third on the Korn Ferry Tour, got my PGA Tour card, and was kind of off and running for a few years. And then, lost I think in my 5th year on tour, lost my card, there. Struggled all season, and then went down to the first playoff event on the Korn Ferry at Boise, fought back, finished second, got my card back in the first event, and then came back the next year on the PGA Tour, won the Valero. It's just crazy. It was just all this back and forth in my career. And then kind of, what happened last year, the first half of the year, kind of slumping, falling down, and getting back up. So there's a Confucius quote. He says, God, I'm going to butcher this. Maybe you guys can correct me on something it's not, the glory isn't for how high you get or something, but it's more about the rise when you get pushed down or something like that. The glory isn't for how high you get in your peaks. It's more of when you bounce back. That's where it's at. So that's kind of, I feel my career.
Final question from Doug, right in front of Kevin.
What, the Confucius quote?
It's Google. Never mind.
There's a lot.
The nervousness. If you look back, the nervousness, or even if there was a sense of calmness that you felt over the last hour at Oakmont, how did that compare with what it was like in San Antonio?
Very similar. very similar. San Antonio, awful start there too. I double bogeyed the first hole on Sunday at Valero and ended up winning. I think the only player at the time to do that was Tiger Woods at the U.S. Open in '08. So I knew at the U.S. Open, this, at Oakmont, I didn't have to get to a fiery start, even though I was 5 over through 6. I did feel like the wheels had fallen off. It felt like I was maybe playing for like a top 10 at the time. But the rain delay and the weather delay where we stopped play, that was pretty big, I think, in the shift in momentum and kind of getting to go back into the locker room and reset. Because the same thing happened to me at the Players this year on Sunday. I was leading going to Sunday. I was a couple over par on the front 9, lost the lead. Boom, rain delay going into the back 9 for 3-4 hours. Came out, fought back, and got myself in the playoff with Rory. So when I knew that happened, there was just so many weird things that now looking back, so many weird things that I have connection with the U.S. Open at Oakmont that I don't see how I couldn't have won.
If someone had told you on Sunday at the U.S. Open you're going to be tied for the lead with 3 holes to play, would you have expected to be nervous?
Probably. I think it was just the way the round was going, where all the momentum was in my way, in kind of my corner. I was, putting good swings on the ball again. Whereas if maybe I was letting it slip and then ending up kind of like in the same situation, like then it would probably be very nerve-wracking. But the comfort there that I was like pulling these shots off, hitting really good shots, kind of in the zone, I guess. That's what helped me feel comfortable and not nervous at all, actually. I mean, I was definitely nervous, but it wasn't like that nerve feeling where you like can't even stand over the ball kind of a feel. But I think that kind of comes with, the fact that I was playing really well, and I played so well to get myself the lead with, 1 hole to play.
The quote is, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but rising every time we fall."
There it is.
Thank you, JJ.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.